Shortly after British transferred power in 1947, the Indian ruling class wasted no time in slavishly imitating everything British, rather Anglo-American, and hence adopted British parliamentary democracy. That Anglo-American brand of democracy meant, as it does now, included in the transfer of power was transfer of oppression, repression, exploitation, corruption, and deprivation from all means of a decent livelihood for broad masses. However, the masses were allowed to participate in an elaborate and expensive process of election once every 5 years. This election process enables a change of party in power, but changes to policies favorable to general masses were not and is not allowed. Over the last 77 years, votes have been traded based on religion, caste, creed, and party symbols. Devastating underdevelopment, scandalous corruption, and abject poverty that is crushing India to this day were never the issue of election campaign. Such issues were never discussed in the parliament debates. Mainstream media by design never ever bothered to promote public debate based on these serious life and death issues. Such social sicknesses were sidelined with denial and narratives of fake developments. Media diligently and dutifully worked to condition general masses to vote against their own interest. Since 2014, a new player by the name of Aam Aadmi Party and its founder Arvind Kejriwal appeared in the political scenario of India. In contrast to all political parties of India, Kejriwal has succeeded in drawing public attention to not just the ancestral socio-economic problems, but their solutions as major issues of election campaign. For the first time, a political party emerged who argued with astonishing clarity, supported by well-researched facts and figures on how to engage the untapped mammoth productive forces of the marginalized underclass that is wasting away. Since 1947, political leadership never seriously tried to develop and utilize the productive forces of the general population through world-class schooling and healthcare. Factors that each and every single developed nation of all denomination has implemented on war footing. Such failure of Indian politicians is not just because of the blatant corruption or lack of accountability or incompetence. It is the underdeveloped way of thinking of the political class of India. In the eyes of these pathetic ruling elites of India, 95% underclass populace are not worthy of any human consideration. Here is an example of how the underclass are treated. A slum dweller sits amid the debris of a burned shanty in the eastern Indian city of Siliguri. This is October 25, 2009. More than 1,000 people evacuated after a fire swept through the slum area, and the cause of the fire is still unknown. A fire official said on Sunday. Report says, "Let me emphasize that cause of the fire is not known to the victim, but most definitely known to the fire official." The role of the underclass, who are majority of the voters, has always been to pay 25 to 30 different taxes, join the lowest rank of army, police, and security forces, and cast their votes once in 5 years to prop up the brand of world's largest democracy. Here is a newspaper clip that declares beggars can be voters. Elections in India are traditionally fought based on caste, creed, religion, party, and family. For the first time in 67 years, Aam Aadmi Party, or AAP as it is called, developed a homegrown political strategy. They openly declared that it is not political leaders or political parties, but participation of people that develops a nation. Therefore, members of the nation must be exposed to world-class schooling and healthcare to ensure national development. The leader of Aam Aadmi Party, Mr. Kejriwal, and his colleagues declared many times that once the population of India is exposed to world-class schooling and healthcare, their productive forces will build all that is required for national development. Since 2013 and 2014, Mr. Kejriwal and his party repeatedly emphasized with facts, figures, and data how and why they plan to reform schools, build healthcare facilities, make utilities available to the marginalized, and above all, detailed plan on how to wipe out cancerous ancestral corruption. Implementation of their plans in Delhi and Punjab, despite fierce resistance from the central government and their media, gradually made an impression among the marginalized community of India. It is the school reforms in Delhi and later in Punjab that slowly but steadily impacted the poor people and conditioned them to evaluate political parties based on what they have or what they can deliver to improve the lives of common voters. Let us take a listen.
सबसे पहले सभी दर्शकों को नमस्कार। और मैं समझता हूँ कि पहली बार इस देश के अंदर एक नई राजनीति जन्म ले रही है और वो है काम की राजनीति। 70 साल में ऐसा कभी नहीं हुआ कि किसी ने आके कहा हो कि मैंने स्कूल बनवा दिए इसलिए वोट दे दो, मैंने अस्पताल बनवा दिए इसलिए वोट दे दो। अगर ये राजनीति सफल हो गई तो बड़ी मुश्किल हो जाएगी सारी पार्टियों के लिए, और सारी पार्टियों को फिर स्कूल अस्पताल बनवाने पड़ेंगे देश के अंदर।
Emergence of this new consciousness among deprived populace might forever change the political climate of India. To be sure, this consciousness among the underclass will spread like wildfire. There is not a shred of doubt that ruling party BJP and their patrons will try to manipulate the result of Delhi election through EVM, that is electronic voting machine, as they have done before.
Some voters said that when they pressed their button, even though they voted for another party, the vote went to the BJP. The State Election Commission, however, completely denies this.
Yet another EVM controversy in Uttar Pradesh. After this voter in western Uttar Pradesh's Meerut alleged in this mobile video reportedly shot by a local journalist that the EVM he used to cast his vote in UP's local body polls on Wednesday was rigged.
सुबह वोट के लिए आया, मैंने आरती के मेयर के पद के लिए आरती के निशान पे जो है वो बटन दबाया, तो लेकिन वो जो है हमारी ये फूल पे जा रही है, जिसका जो है मुझे शक हुआ। मैंने उंगली यहीं दबाए रखी और इन अधिकारियों से कहा, तो इन्होंने इसके लिए।
But new consciousness kindled in the mind of the underclass, who are the pillar of a nation, is here to stay. It's a proven fact that if a society cannot satisfy the many who are poor, they can never save the few who are rich and belong to the ruling class. The marginalized and downtrodden, the dormant productive force of India, have witnessed, though on a small scale, that political party and its leadership matters, as seen in Delhi and Punjab. This awakening is now spreading like wildfire. The ruling class of India will most definitely not go into hibernation if someday Aam Aadmi Party infiltrates the power structure at the center, which is by no means an utopia, and lives up to their commitment to the underclass and takes steps to curb omnipresent corruption and crony capitalism in India. When that day comes, there will be two possibilities. One, Aam Aadmi Party will compromise and play along with the ruling class and betray their main supporters of today, the underclass, what the left parties of today have done. Another possibility, Aam Aadmi Party will gear up to face fierce resistance from within. And we all know from where this fierce resistance may come. And resistance from without. And that will come from Anglo-American patrons of the Indian ruling class. Though that time hasn't come yet, but make no mistake, Aam Aadmi Party is most definitely under the radar of imperialist powers who wear masks of democracy, freedom, and human rights. Their drones and missiles will be positioned in case Aam Aadmi Party lives up to their commitment to the Indian underclass. If you like what you see and hear, please subscribe and ring the bell.